Dawson Rashard here once again for another 49ers video. You see, before this season started, mind you, I honestly thought this game was going to be a loss for the 49ers. And this wasn't just because of, and when I said that, right, I thought Trey Lance was going to be the quarterback. Mistakes were going to be made because, right, quarterback, Kansas City is a Super Bowl contender no matter what every year, right? But I expected a tough loss, right? Well, Trey Lance wasn't a quarterback today. Jimmy Garoppolo was, and this was not a tough loss. And I, even though I just said Jimmy Garoppolo's name, mind you, right? I don't blame him fully for this game, right? There's blame to go around everywhere for this game, right? Doesn't matter if you're on the defense, the offense, punt return, kick return, punt unit, kick unit. There was issues all around this team. For a team that had a lot of buzz going into this game because you just got Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, there was blame to go around for every unit basically on this team, right? Team loss, right? Sure, you can just say Jimmy Garoppolo threw the worst interception, one bad interception. But here's the thing about it. I'm numb to these interceptions by Garoppolo, these boneheaded plays from Garoppolo. All right, Garoppolo is the quarterback. We saw how Brock Purdy played when he came in for garbage time. That isn't the answer as well. But anyway, let's go fully into this game, right? Let's go into this game. Offensively, let's talk offensively a bit, right? I'm about to play a clip from my preview for this Kansas City game, right about now. And with saying those weapons, right, the more important thing for you guys to know is this. Execution matters, right? I can name off anybody on this. I can name anyone off the 49ers roster offensively. But it doesn't matter if they don't offensively execute this game plan, right, and score against Kansas City's defense. In that clip, I said, you just saw me say it, right? Execution would matter for the 49ers, right? They just had to execute perfectly if they're going against Kansas City, right? Doesn't matter that you have McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Juwan Jennings had to be on their game as well as Jimmy Garoppolo, right? First drive of the game, Ayuk, he couldn't catch a pass, right? George Kittle, I'll say this about George Kittle. He had himself a good little game today on National Tight Ends Day. That is great for you, Kittle. Debo Samuel, Kyle Shanahan needs to figure out what the heck is Debo's role in this offense, right? He looks a bit lost this year, right? Because the runs you built in for him don't work anymore. The screens aren't working the way that there should be with the blocking, right? Very interesting there. Danny Gray, right? You had an opportune time to catch a ball, but halfway, good play by, the defender, and halfway bad play by Danny Gray on that one. It just, and from the, snaps that McCaffrey had, he was probably the most explosive guy on the field, right? Very obvious. You're now going to give Kyle Shanahan a week to fully implement McCaffrey into his offense. Be ready for it, all right? He is. If McCaffrey has to carry this team, McCaffrey has to carry this team. Kyle Shanahan does not care, all right? The way of Kyle Shanahan likes his teams to run. It's the way that Christian McCaffrey plays, and you got to be prepared for it, right? I do think the running game as a whole, right? I liked it, all right? It was very obvious that if the 49ers kept the game close, the running game was going to be there. But it wasn't a close game. A lot of different ways as to why that wasn't a close game, right? Mike McGlinchey, right, didn't help at all this game, I will say. I'll say this about Mike McGlinchey, right? decent tackle. Decent tackle, right? He helps out the run a lot for the 49ers. I understand that and appreciate his stuff. What I don't appreciate, right, with him, right, is how unclutch he is as a tackle, right? Obvious passing situations and you are getting beat, alright? And a bit of this does fall on Jimmy Garoppolo, I will say that, but sometimes it isn't Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. Also, Trent Williams got beat a few times this game. Maybe a bit of mistake of playing him today. Who knows, right? We'll not know at all what percent he was today on that field, come back from a high ankle sprain. But I think we do gotta talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Here's the thing about me as a fan and content creator of this team and everything about this team, mind you, I am numb to everything. All the Jimmy Garoppolo takes. I've seen him every year. I hate him too. I hate these throws too. I don't know what's going through his head occasionally when he makes these boneheaded decisions. But he's the best option they have right now. The interception, I can't, defend at all that game, mind you, for the sole reason as that you are basically grenade throwing, right, or flare, whatever you want to call it, right, trying to either get in the hands of, I think it was either Ray or George Kittle, right? Problem with that is neither of the two guys knew who was going to go for the ball, and neither jumped for the ball, right, to even defend it from the Kansas City defense. And the bad part about it was Jeff Wilson Jr. was open on the choice Texas whatever route out there. That should be your hot read on cover zero, supposedly. And I say supposedly because I'm not a tape watcher, my guys. Anytime I see, basically what happens with me, right, is I go and there's this guy on Twitter. If you're a 49ers fan on Twitter, you know him, Rich Madrid. Very much the tape guy that I look at all his tweets about the game to see what's going on, right? And in his mind, that interception shouldn't happen because Jeff Wilson Jr. what should have been the hot route, right, for the blitz that was shown by the Kansas City. Now, I'd say this about Jimmy Garoppolo with the stupid interception, right? But the fact of the matter is that I think overall what Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense did, I think, what's the word for? There's more that you want to see from him because of there was a lot of plays that were left on the field. Not just from Jimmy Garoppolo, from these wide receiver pass catchers as well. Execution matters, right? But as again, a team like this who needs the running game, right? Here's the thing about Jimmy Garoppolo passed for 300 yards. For most quarterbacks, that's a great game, but for Jimmy Garoppolo, you do not want him to pass for 300 yards. That means something went wrong with you got the 49ers offensively, right? This team is built for running, and they couldn't get into running situations because of how they executed offensively, and more importantly, defensively, right? Here's the thing about let's talk about defense, right? I'm a bit tired of talking offensively. Let's talk about the defense, right? This is supposed to be the breadwinner for this, defense wins championships, all that type of stuff, right? I don't know how healthy this defense was. I don't know how healthy Charvarius Ward, Nick Bosa, Jimmy Ward, who else was probably injured, that played, Talanoa Hufanga. Let's actually add him to that because he got Bennett, injured as well. But anyway, that's going to, sorry, yawned right there. But anyway, my point is this, right? The Kansas City offense did whatever the heck they wanted to this 49ers defense. It seemed there was no adjustments made. It seemed most of the time the throws that went, like, here's the thing about it, I feel like our secondary was scared of Patrick Mahomes and didn't play the way that they're known for, the style that they are known for, right? That's part of my opinion, right? Because you have Kelsey out here, right? There, there's a lot to talk about. Which there was this one Travis Kelsey play, right? Um, Mahomes, alien of a quarterback, mind you, right? Unicorn, all that type of stuff. Throws it to Kelsey, right? And guess what? There were so many 49ers defenders by him, and they did nothing to try and get the ball out of his hands when he went to try and catch it. That is no bueno, right? And here's the thing about it, right? You also let Valdez Scantlin, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jack McKinnon. Who else scored a touchdown for Clyde Edwards-Helaire go LSU there? But you let these supposedly like the barren wide receiver core for Kansas City, right? Beat you, right? And you also let Travis Kelsey beat you. That ain't a recipe for success. You either stop everyone besides Kelsey, mind you, or you stop Kelsey and say everyone else beat you, but you let the entire receiving core and running back room for Kansas City beat you, right? They were able to get the edges. They were able to get up the middle, the screens, right? And the most frustrating thing, besides for the flags, mind you, we'll talk flags later, was this. You put them in third and long situations all game, right? And guess what? They converted every single one of them. Third and 24, 34 yards on it. Every time the ball came out of his hands third and long from Mahomes, I'm like, well, that's a first down, right? I didn't even know if someone was going to catch it. I just thought it was a first down because of how the defense played, right? No pressure at all. You're missing Eric Armstead, all right? And Javon Kinlaw, right? There's a saying, right? We like the. There's a saying that I think is getting more and more appreciated, right? As much as we do like this D-line depth and we can turn anyone into a few sacks, guy on this line, you're going to miss your top first-round talents and superstar talents in Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, right? As much as people, say about Javon Kinlaw, mind you, right? He is a big guy who stuffs the line, right? You got destroyed on the line of scrimmage because you don't have these big guys in Armstead and Kinlaw. And Bosa can only do as much as he can. So there's that as well. And then there's the flags, right? Both, I think every unit had a flag. Even the kicking unit for a field goal got a flag. How does that happen? How do you get a flag on a field goal attempt from the team that's kicking? Insane stuff, right? Juwan Jennings' late hit on a kick return that led to a Kansas City touchdown. That's stupid. And here's the thing about it. Say all these flags, offensively, defensively, special teams, all that type of stuff, right? You know what that leads to, right? And also all this bad execution that we've seen, that leads to coaching units, right? D'Amico Ryans, he got worked. Kyle Shanahan, he got worked, right? And it's so weird. The 49ers fall into this. They fall into this last year, right? Losing record. Gotta go into Rams territory and win a game to get your season back on track. Insane stuff. Because the thing with the 49ers, mind you, right, is that they have a style that they play of football, right? What I've learned these past few weeks, mind you, is this. There's a style of football the 49ers like to play. If they can't play that style of football, it doesn't look great for the 49ers in the win column, right? Because they don't know how to play it in certain situations, it seems. And that does fall on coaching, once again. And mind you, as I say about this coaching stuff, this doesn't mean Kyle Shanahan is on the hot take. No. He's still... I don't think there is ways to say there is a hot seat for Kyle Shanahan in the sense that we don't know what Trey Lance is, right? You don't want a new coach testing out Trey Lance until, Kyle Shanahan tries and develops him, mind you, right? That's the thing, right? And mind you, right, the plays are there offensively and defensively, mind you, right? But you got Nick Bosa having two flags of the same type on one drive. John Jennings is an idiot occasionally and has late hits. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's Jimmy Garoppolo, mind you, right? The 49ers offensive weapons have drops everywhere, right? Does this all lead back to coaching? Yes, but here's the thing about it. Kyle Shanahan ain't the one out on that field. He has to call plays. He has to watch the tape with the team. He has to make sure D'Amico Ryans has what he needs to call his defense. Make sure that he understands what he needs to call for his defense. And that's the other thing with, that's the thing with Kyle Shanahan, right? He can only do so much when he has his play call, right? I expect Kyle Shanahan, right? Kyle Shanahan is a great play caller because he figures out how to add wrinkles, right? He does that. He has his wrinkle, right? That's Christian McCaffrey, right? And with Christian McCaffrey, he needs to figure it out, right? With Christian McCaffrey, right? It's the Debo situation, right? If you can figure it out, right, you can get yourself into the playoffs and get yourself hot and head yourself back to the NFC Championship game. And D'Amico Ryans, bad game all around. I understand. You're playing against Patrick Mahomes, right? An alien, and Andy Reid, who is probably the best offensive play caller currently in the NFL, right? But why is it that you couldn't make adjustments, right? Why is it that, the edges were all open this entire game for the Chiefs, right? I'll go and watch LSU football, right? LSU football is the second thing I cover, right? And guess what? I see a second half team in the LSU Tigers. I don't see a second half team in the 49ers, right? When I watch LSU football, I'm like, well, second half. If this team is who they are, they'll figure it out, right? I don't get that from the 49ers. I get a team that tries to get the lead as fast as possible, and then they milk it. So, here's the thing about, right? I said all this, right? We are at, how long have I talked for? I've talked for 18 something minutes, I think. If that's right? Let's see what else we can talk about, right? What else? Oh yeah, state of the NFC. Seahawks are number one in the NFC West. Okay, good on them, right? Good on Seattle Seahawks for proving that, just competent quarterback play can get them into some good positions, right? So good on them. Good on Geno Smith. I'm rooting for you guys a bit, just so you don't get, C.J. Stroud or, Bryce Young. But the fact of the matter is this. Do you trust any NFC teams currently that aren't in the NFC East to beat you currently, right? I think I saw a tweet that the remaining schedule for the 49ers, only one team has a winning record. So, if the 49ers want to get hot, want to figure things out, they got to beat the Rams first, get on their bye week, get as healthy as possible, and then just run a gauntlet to the NFC playoffs and see if either you are going to be a wild card team or you are going to host games at Levi Stadium. It's as simple as that, right? And some may say the team is who they are. That is probably true. There's still probably going to be drops, flags, and execution problems. Well, guess what? If you add the wrinkles and adjustments that are needed, who cares, right? If you can hide your inefficiencies, what matters, right? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure did. I think this is probably my longest video out there. Yeah, 20 minutes of talking, you guys. I have not done that since LSU lost to Florida State at the start of the year. That is interesting stuff right there. So yeah, let's talk about. We got a long week ahead of us going to Rams week, which should be a win, mind you, because of narratives are narratives. There has to be truth to them, and also, Kyle Shanahan gets a week to fully implement Christian McCaffrey. Like, what else? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm done talking. More videos on the way this week. I have one LSU video, but that's about it for LSU content. Besides their shorts, because they're on a bye week, right? I can talk about LSU all week, right? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, we reached 120 subscribers today. Great, thanks guys. Road to 140 now. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.